What's up out there? Welcome to the Relentless Hope Podcast, where I'm arguing with my wife, who is
Jonna Craven.
Jonna Craven.
What's up, everybody?
How are you guys doing? We are here in Bonita Springs, Florida, at the Cop and Con Relentless Hope headquarters. Got my boy Tim Jarrett over there.
Yo,
yo, yo, in the
Wherever
house.
he's at, working the controls, getting it ready for us. Ready to do another one, right, babe?
Yeah.
How you been?
Good,
I've been with
buddy.
you every day, but
I know. Life's a little busy, but it's
Yeah.
good busy.
Been busy,
Right?
Been busy, been crazy. Real life stuff.
Kids, yep.
Yeah, a lot of grandkids. Got to have Kellen came up and stayed a couple days, which is always like looking in a mirror of a young, better looking me.
He is a lot like you.
He's my buddy.
He is fun.
Yeah,
he's a fun kid.
He's always fun. He's always fun. And then of course we've got Liliana quite a bit.
Oh, yes, the one and only.
Yeah,
She's a character,
She's
buddy.
over 3 or 4 or 5, 6 days a week.
Pulling up on everything.
Yeah, she's getting strong, moving. And then our other granddaughter, Eva, she's
walking.
walking. She was at her first big golf national tournament in Tampa. Ashley said she was running around with a club, hitting
Lord.
balls and trying to.
She's
So,
like her dad.
Yeah, she's like her dad, J-Rod. But yeah, so grandkids in life,
Yeah.
marriage classes.
Marriage classes. Now we got
Couple days a
Bree and
week.
Michael. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing one at church.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good, man.
Get to go to a recovery church movement conference this weekend, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. In Bradenton.
Get to be up there in Bradenton. And then it's our anniversary on Monday.
Our anniversary. Yeah.
gonna Do something special.
We
We're
made
busy, Tim. I'm trying to keep up with Tim Jarrett, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys got it going on. I love keeping up with what you guys have, and you're doing all the right things and spreading the word to all those. out there.
Yeah, it all depends who you ask if we're doing the right things. But
depends on what day of the week it is.
no, depends on what day of the week, which is good. You know, like I think his name is it's the Dream Center in California. Matt Barnett, I think is his name. I don't know. Anyway,
don't know.
I think so. But one of his sayings was that I adopted a long time ago was, "Can you do it today?" Right? And
As in, don't put it off.
well,
do it
that
today?
or as in, can you just make it through today? Because
yeah.
I tried to fix my whole life one time, and by noon I was ready for a nap. I'm going to go to sleep, right? You know.
Yes.
So what happens is, and this is more for drug people in addiction, but it can be in anything in your life. It can be your marriage or whatever. Is like, can you do it today?
Right.
And so if we adopt that slogan, is like, you know, we start going, we want to fix the next 10 years or the 10 years of past,
Right.
when we just need to focus on today.
Yes, because
So-
today has enough worries of its own.
That's
Right?
that's the key scripture. Matter of fact, let's read that. Good job, Jonna. I didn't even tell you the key scripture. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34.
Man.
You know, and so why most people quit? Let's take New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
I guarantee you, not everybody, but most people, what do they say? 70% of people or something that made New Year's resolutions stop working on them in 2 months.
Yeah. It gets old to them, or they're not really committed from the jump.
Or
right?
discipline, or
Yeah.
they focused on what they, a lot of people know our health journey where I lost over 100 something pounds and DDPY, which is still part of our life. Then we got really into the gym with the power and started going towards the power stuff. And then I got sidelined with the heart stuff, which kept me from going to the gym, which then started messing with my
But
mental.
your infraction rate, right, had a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
David.
and not
you-
to- yeah,
you-
not to-
yeah, but no, it's a very valid point. So you can't
Yeah.
don't just gloss over it.
Oh,
It's
well.
very true, because if your heart's not pumping what it needs to be pumping, you don't have the energy.
Yeah, so
you have to give yourself grace in that.
with that being said, which messed up, everything I had going on. So I started doing whatever, but going back to being eating healthy right now, even though I can't work out and exercise like I can, but I can still walk and do light stuff, but is eating healthy, which I really, when I do something, I try to do it 100%.
Okay, so we're on week 2, right, of this Mediterranean
Gonna make a point, but
factor.
evidently her point
So
is more
yeah, my point. It's my turn. So how are you feeling on week 2 with this diet?
it's not a diet.
It's a life change.
Changing my life. again. But before, what I was eating and how I was doing stuff before the doctor stuff and everything changed. And I've been doing good. I mean, my meals are already pre-made.
Yeah.
They're the Mediterranean, low carb, everything's, healthy meals. I mean, I haven't got off of it. I think I've already lost 6 or
No.
7 pounds in 2 weeks or something. Been walking, went to the gym a couple times, not like we used to, trying to get back into it. But it's been
How are you
it's hard
feeling?
for me. I feel all right. I mean, it's just hard for me because I want to go to the gym and work out for 2 hours, and I want to power lift, and
Yeah.
I want to. It's mad when I was maxing out doing chest bench, and now I can't,
I know.
and all these things. So but that's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into that. But I'm feeling better. Eat right, you feel better. I mean, I told you the other morning when I woke up, I'm like, man, eating healthy and then not eating after 7 and waking up, I
Yeah.
feel 100% better, obviously.
In the mornings.
Yeah. And going that, touching on it, we just got to do it for today.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people quit because they get into something and they try to start they're looking for tomorrow, next week, what's going to happen, and they can't change the outcome. They can only change today.
Right.
And I think I kind of adopted that in my life, especially when it came to sobriety or getting clean, set free, whatever you want to call it, was I just focused on today, trying to make the right moves today.
Absolutely.
When you think about it out there, how do you write a book? One sentence at a time, one paragraph at a time, one chapter at a time.
Right.
That's how you have to rewrite the story in your life. One sentence, one paragraph, one chapter. And when you do that, things start to change. You don't start writing, all the book in one day. You don't start writing the whole chapter in one day. There's an author that they said, how do you complete all these books? And he goes, one messy, dumb chapter at a time. And that's what we got to do in our life. So when you do it one sentence, one paragraph, you'll start to rewrite your story.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so it's kind of like that. I'm trying to rewrite one day at a time.
Yeah.
And I believe when it comes to addiction, when it comes to eating, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to marriage, if your marriage has been in trouble, how can you rewrite it? One day at a time.
Right.
If you go to class, like, we do 2 marriage classes a week, one that we teach, one that we're a part of. Right. And so those things that we learn, sometimes you learn a bunch of information. You can't apply it all in one day, but you can do one thing of that one day.
Absolutely. And I think it helps so much too if you take notes. For me, when I'm in class and I write stuff down that I'm learning and I put it in big letters so that I can look back and remember that. And it helps me remember if I write stuff down, then I can apply it more to my life rather than just, you're just going over a lesson.
Well,
I retain it better.
Yeah, no, and you're a good note taker. And Bree and Mike was in the class with us, and she was taking notes, and your guys' notes look the same, and me and Mike's look the same. They didn't write a whole bunch, but
Just one word.
even in the Bible, I mean, God always talks about days. He don't say renew your mind yearly.
No.
He says renew your mind daily.
Daily.
He don't say give us this month our daily bread. He said give us this day our daily bread.
That's a good point.
So everything is basically day.
Right.
Day. Nobody's promised tomorrow.
Right.
That's focusing on today,
Right.
not tomorrow or not the day before. You better focus on today because nobody's promised tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think what happens in addiction and getting clean is people try to get too much, and the slogans, today, there's all the slogans about only taking it day by day. You know what I mean? And
no, because it's so true because you can only do what's in that day, right?
Yeah.
One day has 24 hours. So if you focus on that day instead of long-term, goals, just focus on, okay, what can I do today? I feel like I feel more accomplished, rather than stressing myself out. I have to do this, right?
And there was something too that I try to do, and I don't always do this 100%, but it's, when you make a list of goals you need to do, is tackle the hardest one first.
I
Usually
love that about
if there's
you.
a trouble customer, I'll hit that guy head on in the morning. Like, hey, man, I just wanted to reach out and go ahead and get this conversation out of the way. Because if you don't tackle the hardest thing first, the rest of your day, that will be a stressor.
Yeah, you're full of dread because you have to do it. Why not just knock it out? I do love that about you.
That's one thing I try to do. Not always do I do it, but I usually try to tackle the problem first because it just is what it is. But
Get it over with.
What's some reasons, Jonna, that you think people fail not taking stuff day by day? Like what are some things in your life that you feel you've had to adjust because you were all over the place or not doing it day by day?
Yeah, I feel like discipline has played a huge part in that for me. You know, like if I know that I need to do something, I have to discipline myself, right? Like, cause let's just be honest, some days you wake up and you just don't feel like it. But if you discipline yourself and you make it a non-negotiable and you're intentional about it, I feel like I get a lot further.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. And that's even in like trust. Let's take a marriage, for instance, that has broken trust. You know, you don't get that trust. You know, we've always said this, and you hear Jimmy Evans say this. You know, trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets.
One of my favorite sayings.
You know, yeah, I love it. So you can only do that for today.
Right.
And how is that? Build trust for today in your relationship.
Right.
Build communication today in your relationship.
Right.
And, you know, that's why I love like the Outlaw 7 connection card.
Yeah.
That causes you to stop down and connect today. Not, hey, we'll do it later, or hey, we did it last week. You have to do it today. And if you put that work in today, if you can just do it for today. In my own life, I had to just stay sober for today. Mm-hmm. I had to try to be the best husband for today. I had to try to handle what I could try to rebuild for today. Right. I can't go back and change everything. No. And I don't know what's going to happen forward, but I know today I can make the phone calls. I know today I can read the Bible. I know today I can reach out to somebody who mentors me. I know today I can get on here and record something. Can you do it for today? Right. Where are you at in your life? Can you do it for today? Because each day is a win, and stacking little wins is how you see the victory.
Absolutely, 100%.
You know?
Not only that, but I mean, for me, I used to walk in shame and guilt, right? Because of what I had done previously. So I couldn't go any further because I was still walking in that. But when I really learned to stop walking in that shame and guilt and set a goal for that day and accomplish it that day, it took me a lot further, you know, because I was too busy trying to accomplish these goals rather than think about what I had done before.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. And writing, there's a thing about writing stuff out.
Oh, man.
And you know, nowadays it don't have to be writing it out on a paper.
Yeah.
You know, you can write it out on your notepad. You can write it out. You can speak it into it and have it right. There's so many things, but there's something about, you know, journaling too, unless you got, you know, broken hands and pool table hands. It's hard for me to sit down and write a lot, but I can do a lot of journaling. But I have been trying to get back to, since I've been sitting in the office and it's serene out there, you know, where nobody's bothering me and the door's shut and it's quiet. I've been writing stuff more, trying to journal, but there's something about writing down your daily goals for today.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be, you know, it can be like, gonna make that phone call I've been waiting on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to, you know, you want to get far, you want to get some training. You know, you want to read through the Bible, read 2 chapters a day.
Yeah.
If you read 2 to 3 chapters of the Bible a day, by the end of the year, you'll have read 90% of it.
Yeah, because you have to be able to read it and retain it.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember when I was first learning to read the Bible, I would try to read like, you know, a lot of chapters and I couldn't retain it. So if I read 1, 2 tops a day, you know, maybe 1 in the morning, 1 at night, I could retain it much better.
Well, and what a lot of people don't know, which you know, is I'm a big reader.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at me and they go, you read it? I love to read. And I actually don't, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I listen to it on Kindle, and that's cool if I'm driving.
Yeah.
But I'm still a dude who likes to order a book. I like a book to come. I like to read it. I like to read the forward. I like to look in the back. I'll reread it. But people go, how do you read so many books? Because I only read 3 to 4 pages a day. Mm-hmm. And that's how I can recite stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I remember it. Because if I try to cram 3 chapters, now don't get me wrong, there's some books I've started reading and finish in a day. They're good. But if you read 3 to 4 pages a day, if you sit down and write 3 things a day of gratitude, if you sit down and write 3 people's names that's on your heart and text them, I still do this daily. I'll think of somebody and then I'll text them something. Yes. I've even done it to Tim before, ain't I, Tim?
Yep.
Yes.
Haven't I?
That you have.
Have I not? I had to wake him up over there. He was snoring.
I know.
He was dribbling.
I'm learning a lot, actually.
It's got white claw in the cup.
And you know, Tim being in the military, let's say, I mean, you guys probably have to do the same thing daily, right? And you just focus on that day, right?
Yeah. You got to have that structure. And if you don't have that structure, you'll lose it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just what it is.
it's not easy to keep.
No.
No.
And if you've lived a life like us where there was no structure, my life was, where is drink specials at?
Yeah.
That was the structure I had. Where is ladies' night at tonight? And do they have the dollar pictures? And wherever it was, there was my structure to make it there by 10.
Jesus,
and
help us
try to
all.
get me a booth and then figure out what I was going to do. Sometimes closing time, got a little bit here. You'd be like, well, I guess you're not so bad. No,
God.
no, I'm just saying.
You know what I learned though, and this was so true in Teen Challenge. They were like, if you stay disciplined and do little things like make your bed every day. And I know you get on me because you're like, why do we have to make the bed? I'm just gonna get back in it. But it helps me. Yes, you do, David Craven. Stop lying. Like, why do we need all these pillows on the bed?
Got up and
all these pillows making me not sleep. I can't sleep.
By the time she gets out of bed, I done jogged 5 miles and made it back home.
Jeffrey.
John, I support you on making the bed, but all the pillows drives me crazy.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I only have.
I'm laying like this.
Absolutely.
I'm laying like this on my bed. I'm so comfortable. I
What-
love it.
Why don't you take the
Why don't we
pillows
get
off?
6 more and put them on there? Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's.
That we have a total of.
Yeah, but where do you put them when you take them off?
Yeah, then you
On the
trip
floor.
over them on the floor.
Well, you put them on the floor, then I get in trouble for that. Why you
Yeah.
put the pillow on the floor? 'Cause I put
Preach
my
it,
face
brother.
on it tomorrow. I'm like,
Yeah.
You do not.
Okay.
I tripped over one, almost died once.
No, this is David at night. Why do we have all these? I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like, take the pillows off. Take them off.
But anyway, back to what was you saying? Make your bed, do a little wins.
Make your bed.
Yeah.
Right? Because then it's just, for me, it puts me in a different kind of mind frame. Like, okay, I'm ready for my day. And then when I get back home, my bed looks even more inviting because it's all nice and made. And devotions.
Yeah.
What you start your day with.
What you start your day with. And again, the Bible, man, let's take the Bible. It can be very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
And there are people be like, how I walk this far with this word right here. And that's great. And that's awesome. And I love people that can read the Bible and understand it right away. But there's sometimes I've just read one scripture that I've heard my whole life, and it radically changed me when I got it and go, oh, that's
It
what I
impacted you
understand.
differently.
Now, as I get a little older and I'm mentoring guys and I'm teaching classes and doing things, I always excelled at religion class. You can even ask the Christian school I went to. That was my favorite class, New Testament survey. I aced that test because I loved to learn about, Jesus and the Bible, even when I was a heathen. But now I find myself studying people. Like I was doing the study on Samson, and then I did the study on King David, you know what I mean, in the Bible. And so I've caught myself getting deeper and then trying to understand it. We also live in a time where if something you don't understand it, you can have it broke down in layman terms. There's really no excuse for us to not be able to learn and grow, right?
Right.
I mean, it's 2026, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You can find out what statistics just happened yesterday and do whatever.
Everything's at your fingertips.
I mean, yeah, unless you're that one feller, the cornhole guy, and it wasn't at his fingertips.
I want to know how he was pulling the trigger.
I love Jesus. Look,
Tim, can you tell me how he was pulling the trigger?
We'll get into that more on Cop and Con.
Jonna, we will.
How is he pulling the trigger?
Baby.
We're going to definitely discuss that coming up on Cop and Con.
Make sure you like and subscribe to Cop and Con.
Yes.
The links below in our description. That is our other reaction channel that we do with our good friend. And Jonna is a producer and running stuff, and Tim and I do some stuff. But it's funny, but it's very informative at the same time.
Yes.
Right? But anyway, I had to throw that in there. But I'm being serious about this today, daggone it. No, but listen to me. If you're going through something today, win today, finish the day, wake up and win tomorrow. And hey, you know what? If you lose today, you have a bad day, you wake up and you do it again tomorrow.
Right.
Can you do it just for today? No matter you're walking through right there. Maybe your life is in a shambles. Maybe your marriage is on its last leg. Maybe you have a kid that won't talk to. Maybe you're single and you feel left alone. Can you do what you need to do to win today and keep moving forward? Because that's when you'll see the wins. And a bunch of small wins lead to a victory.
Yes. Yeah. And one thing you always said, and it hits home with me, is one day only has 24 hours, right? So I don't have to get overwhelmed about tomorrow. I just have to get through today because tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I have another 24 hours to handle what I didn't accomplish the day before, right? So it's not so overwhelming.
No.
I feel like I just have to walk in today. I just have to set some goals and accomplish those for today. And tomorrow I'll worry about tomorrow.
Well, and the thing is too, going back to the Bible, and this is deeper because I'm going to be doing this in our marriage class and some stuff. But even how long does God give us to have anger that day?
Yeah.
What's he say? Do not go to bed,
Don't
right?
go to bed.
Right. So even then,
Do not let the sun go
do
down.
not let the sun goes down, which if you go back then and change how the day was then, it started at night and when the day began. But that's that's part of the stuff I'm learning by studying this. But you know, even in your anger, don't deal with today's anger. Anger, people think, oh, I can't be angry. No, the Bible says be angry and do not sin. I'm trying to get that do not sin part. But there's a such thing as having normal anger, righteous anger, being upset about something. Like there's certain topics that if we start talking, I'll get angry about it right now. And you're like, David, you're yelling. I'm like, no, I'm passionate because this annoys me and I'm angered about it. It's not in a bad way, like I'm going to go over and beat them up. But when it comes to like the New Life Dream Center, I get angered about that, a righteous anger, because I've seen it change my life. I've seen it change so many people's lives. I've seen it get recognized by the state as changing lives. And then when all these people are getting on there and talk, it angers me. But you know, but you got to also say, okay, God, forgive and go on. So what can you just do it today? Can you win today in your marriage? Can you win today in your relationship? Can you win today with your relationship with God? Stack a win today, go to bed, get up, stack a win tomorrow. Because when you focus on 10 years, we can't even keep today together. And that's a way to lead to failure. I mean, in my life, I would try to stay sober and go, all right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And I see this happen a lot in faith-based recovery programs. They get saved, right? They get some Jesus that they knew, you know, maybe they knew Jesus before and then they got away. And then now their mind gets clear and they're 30, 60, 90, 6 months in, and they're already wanting to be Tony Robbins. You got to be careful. Yeah. You got to be careful. And I remember, man, I was sober, doing music, and was upset because nobody wanted us to come and speak. Because nobody wanted me to come and speak. I'm like, man, I need to get in there and tell them it wasn't God's time. And I still had a lot of things I need to work on. Now, don't get me wrong. The Apostle Paul spoke immediately of what happened to him. So you don't need no certificate hanging on your wall from a seminary, or you don't need some man to give you the go-ahead to tell your testimony. Right. I'm just saying, don't get mad if it doesn't go the way you think and you see so-and-so over here. Right. You know what I mean? So can you do it today? We wanted to hop on here. You know us, we like to slide in and slide out because to get somebody to listen to you for 10 minutes. So if you're on there talking from your podcast for an hour and a half, I ain't listening to you. I'm just being honest. I'll listen to you for a minute, maybe go back and check, but you got to be one dazzling feller for me to listen to you. We love you. Any last words out there?
No, I think we covered it all.
That's right. Can you do it today?
24 hours.
24/7.
Don't overwhelm yourself.
Every
Set
day
little
I'm
goals.
hustling.
Yes.
Every day I'm hustling.
And celebrate your small successes, because
small wins
it gives you something to look forward to too. And feel accomplished. You've done something. Be proud of yourself.
Yeah. Also, if you don't celebrate the small stuff, you miss such a good part of the story along the way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, I seen a thing that goes, there was a time in my life that all I wished for was the life I got now, you know, and you know, a very good movie that I like and I watch is The Outsiders. Yes. Where he says, stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold. You know, at the end when Johnny dies, away you dig sunsets. And that's become my buddy, me and Michael Caudell's thing. You know, me and Michael Caudell ain't seen each other since the 7th grade, but we've stayed in contact all these years. And you wouldn't think we hadn't, but there's been times in my life he'll out of random text me and say, stay gold, pony boy, the way you dig sunsets, or he'll say something like that. And it's became me and my buddy Elliot's thing. I always say to him, stay gold. But sometimes in life, I think life starts happening and it gets in the way and we focus on what happened or what we need to do. And we stop seeing the sunsets.
Yeah.
life, bills, stress, and we forget that there's good in life. Or you deal with so many people, like just being in business, or how people are mean these days, and you forget that there's good people out there, and
Yes.
and there's good customers, and there's good people that you run into. So
Celebrate
just
that.
for today, stay gold, Pony Boy. We're out of here. Relentless Hope.